reenactors. We travel the country talking about Black Cavalrymen and Black soldiers in the military and how they helped to form and shape this country that we have. It's a story that's not told, and we travel the country telling that story. The contributions from the first, second, third Seminole Indian Wars up through the Spanish Americans. So we include the Civil War, the times with the Plains Indians. We also include a time in history where we as Americans do not know about or have not heard about. That's the Seminole Negro Indian Scouts. And they patrolled in Texas. They patrolled at Mexico and Texas border. And these were Seminole Negro Indians who left Florida on trailer tours with the illusion that the government, this government, was going to give them land and provisions out west. Never happened. Yeah. As a result of that, a lot of the Black Seminoles left and went to Mexico. But that's another story. So what we do as Buffalo Soldiers Florida, as reenactors, we tell that history, we tell that story, and we do it in dress. We do, besides reenactment, we do lectures, we travel this country. We portray the 3rd United States Colored Cavalry. That's a cavalry unit that was formed in the Civil War. And that's a cavalry unit that you don't hear about in the school, you don't hear about it, but they participated in the turning point of this war. And that is the surrender and the siege of Vicksburg, Mississippi. That was an important battle. And their part in that history is something that's not told. And our unit, we're the only ones who represent that unit in this country, in its entirety. In May, the last week in May, we are going back to Mississippi. The National Park Service has invited us back for 4 days. So we'll be doing lectures for 4 days at the National Cemetery in Vicksburg, Mississippi. And so that's the thing we do. We travel, we try to educate, we try to speak in schools, civic organizations, anyone and anywhere that someone wants to hear the story that we have to tell. And a little play on words, we don't tell his story. His story, history.
Right.
H-I-S, his, S-T-O-R-Y, story. You spell history, when you look at it, it says his story.
Right.
Huh? His story. So we're not telling his story. We are telling the story. Yeah? So it's a little play on words, history and his story. Because when you look at the history books, look at the movies, there's so much omitted in the history books. And even in movies, the portrayal of a lot of the actions, especially the military, and during the times of the Plains Indians from the 1870s to the 1880s, you see portrayals of John Wayne, In actuality, a lot of that has to do with the Black Cavalry, the 9th and 10th Cavalry. They was omitted in the movies. They wouldn't write them into the story. John Wayne has the horse soldiers, for instance, where he has a troop and they're traveling, going through the South. But they omitted to talk about the black troops involved. Because if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't know about the secret trails and the trails through the bayous and the swamps. See, but these men of the Colored Cavalry, 9th and 10th, the 3rd USCC at that time, they were former slaves. They were raised up in that area. So they knew the swamps, they knew all the bayous, they knew, all the secret trails and all this, But when you watch these movies, none of that is portrayed. No. None of that is portrayed. So we try to tell that part. We try to show that part. And we back the things we say, we do research. So we have books like this where documentation shows. But what we try to do is tell about history. And we focus on the black man part. The overall part of that is for everyone. Saying that in this country today, you can do whatever you want, but it came upon the backs of those who sacrificed, who showed courage and loyalty. There's really a lot of sacrifice. And what our kids today and even some of our adults today do not understand, they do not recognize it. They don't recognize the courage and the sacrifice. They don't recognize the honor. Because there is honor And there was a lot of honor for these men and women who died, not just the people of color, but for all color who died in that, speaking of the Civil War.
Right.
Families were destroyed, you know, and that. It's just so much. So what we take away from that is that in this day and age, in this time, there has to be some unity. And we have to leave out one word out of our vocabulary. And that word is race. Because there's only one. And that's what we try to do. We try to, you know, a lot of blacks and whites are wearing what I'm wearing now. Not only the men, but the animals also, you know. So what we try to do now is educate. So look, the past is that, the past, but we can learn through education that this is a new day. And we learn what the mistakes were. And we try to educate our children and our grandchildren. And what we try to do is educate our grandparents. I'm a grandparent.
I'm a great
I want to be there.
but great.
You know, but we try to educate. We try to educate our families. There was a time in our history, especially in this country and with the black culture, for storytelling. You passed your history down through words, storytelling.
Storytelling.
And that art in this country is almost lost now. Putting your history in words, verbally, and telling your family about your history and passing it on. So what we do as historical reenactors, we try to tell this story, the story that hasn't been told. And sometimes we get ridiculed, but it's all right. So venues like this, coming out like this, and talking with people like you today, you know, we are hoping that we can share something, at least give you enough information where if you want to look it up, if you can go back, you know, go to the computer and just look things up. This flyer that you have is just a very brief overview of what we do. So we come out like this to try to enlighten people, just a little bit. And the thing about it is this, look, who doesn't like to see a horse?
Yeah.
Second thing is this, who doesn't like to see a handsome trooper?
That's it.
Huh?
I'd rather see the horse.
Oh, come on now! But you know, the whole thing, you know, when you're dressed and you have the animal, that causes people to come. That gives you a chance for conversation. You know, to try to enlighten someone if you can. You know, and sometimes we are the ones that are enlightened because we don't know everything.
Right.
You know,
nobody does.
So at times we ask people, and people ask us something, they have information that they can give us. We take that in turn and share it with someone else. So it's all about giving, sharing, loving each other. Yeah? And that's what we're about. You know, I'm retired 2 or 3 times. But this, I'll do this till I die.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's good.
You know, I'll do this till I die. It's all about giving back. And that's what we try to do. Some of us now are broken up, we're sick, injured, some are working, but we made a commitment to come here every year.
Oh yeah, that's the first time.
Even if it's just one of us.
That's all right.
You know, we'll come. Trooper Shaw is a brand new trooper. He just joined us.
And you got into this group?
He just joined us. And this is his first venue. This is his first event.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Michael.
So,
Hi.
Well, that's Michael.
so we are, you know,
My husband's Michael.
so what we want to do is just try to enlighten people as best we can. We can't teach everything, we can't share everything, but we try to share enough information, hopefully, that could pique your interest or something, that maybe you can go look something up.
Yeah, I will. There's a lot of stuff that I look up.
Because it's not saying that sometimes when we're talking, facts can get distorted, not that it's intentional, but sometimes those things happen. So what we encourage you to do, you know, if you have the opportunity, is to look things up. And what we do, we want to pique your interest, because a lot of people say, when they see a black man dressed like this, the first thing they say is buffalo soldier. But that's not true all the time, because we represent also troopers during the Civil War, which would be dressed different than one dressed right now. So we run the gamut from Seminole Wars through the Spanish America. Oh, you know about it. Okay.
I have 14 horses.
Oh, okay.
My thing to you is, I don't want to keep you. He's not a tenant. He is not a quarter horse. Oh, a quarter look-alike. but I can't tell which one of your gated he is. 'Cause I only saw you ride him very briefly. I'm like, not a quarter horse.
Nope. Cracker.
Yeah.
Cracker. Are you familiar with cracker horse?
Well, so
That's
tell
what-
me about this.
And he
Not all cracker horses
oh
gate.
he's a little bit bigger than most cracker horses. But I had him type DNA, and he is all quarter. I'm cracker horse. So he's just a little larger than something. I have another cracker
He's
horse.
taller.
Yeah, I have another cracker horse that's the standard cracker. He's smaller than that, but he goes all day long. Energy.
Yeah, that's like your walker. That was the last thing I get into before.
I have a Tennessee
and
Walker.
the spotted. I love them. I had to get out because I get sick of them.
Well, I have a Tennessee Walker. A lot of us goes in our group. I think he's the youngest. I'm 65. And so now what we do, we have to watch what we do with horses because of our age and health and so forth. But I ride about every day.
And you should.
I ride about
Keeps
every
you
day.
young.
I have
As long as I did it, I never had
I have
any
7
problems
horses
at all
at
when
home.
I retired.
I have 7 horses. We have 5 war horses. So these horses are in the reenactment. They're on the battlefield. Also, we go into the school system.
Did you ever go to Billy Bull Lakes?
Yeah. Down on the reservation.
No, down Fort Meade.
On the reservation, big site. Oh, no, Fort Meade is best. It's way down south. Big sites on the Seminole reservation.
I know what you're talking about. I didn't know if you did the reenactment. I think it's important.